était à la mode, c'est de changer de look très fréquemment. Est-ce que vous n'avez pas peur de désorienter votre public en changeant de look une fois par trimestre, par exemple?
I don't think so, because I basically just wear junk. You know, I'm sort of like a walking junkyard, you know. The things that I wear, basically anyone can do. That's the whole idea, you know. It's like the whole idea of what I do is that the kids can copy it. I mean, you know, it's very easy to smother yourself in badges. It's very easy to buy very cheap pearls, you know, and sort of like stick cigarette packets on your hat. You know, it's not a difficult thing to do, you know. It's just really whether you can work up the courage to do it. You know, I mean, a lot of the fans are very, very clever in the way that they copy you, you know, very quickly. I mean, you know, but again, you know, for me, it's really a question of I get bored very easily with a look, and so, you know, I mean, I have basically what I do is I have people around me. I have one particular person. I have the fabulous Judy Blame, who makes all my stuff for me, right? And basically, what I do is I find people with very good creative energy. You know, I can't be around people that aren't creative. So basically what I do is surround myself with people who have got brains, you know, and also have the same kind of wit that I have. You know, the same kind of sense of humor. You know, it's like, I mean, you know, I'm not the most beautiful person in the world. I'm not thin. I'm not, you know, fabulous. I'm not Nick Cayman, you know. I'm not Madonna. I wouldn't mind having Nick Cayman, but that's another question. But I mean, you know, I'm not any of those people. So really, I have to kind of adapt the way I look to my size, you know, and whatever. So I just work with clever people. You know, I think all the people, you know, it's like, it's very easy to look outrageous. Simple. You know, I mean, but I mean, to do it well is another thing.
Quand on aime autant la mode, est-ce qu'on n'est pas condamné à n'être qu'un chanteur à la mode?
Well, I haven't done so badly, have I? I haven't done badly. I mean, I think really it's just staying one step ahead of everyone else. You know, I mean, you know, my whole attitude towards the fashion industry is that I treat it as a joke. I mean, I think the fashion industry, like Chanel, you know, and all those people, are so snobby, you know, Vogue. They know nothing about fashion. They know nothing about what's going on outside in the street. And basically, fashion comes from, like, people with very good creative energy. Young people, you know, who never make it to the sort of, you know, the status of Chanel because their ideas are too extreme, you know. I mean, real fashion is about watering down something that's come from the street. So those people don't know what they're talking about, you know. I mean, you know, it's like why I wear the Chanel badges. It's just really to take the piss, to use an English phrase, just to sort of laugh at them, you know, and say, ha ha, you know. It's like I wear the Chanel labels. I mean, I haven't got permission to do it, but it's really a comment on that fashion snobbery, you know, because Vogue is basically run by a bunch of old lesbians. You know, they're just really out of touch old dykes. They don't know nothing about fashion, you know, so I'm not interested in their opinions.
Vous parlez de Chanel, je vois également d'un badge de Mikhail Gorbatchev. Est-ce que selon vous, la mode fait aussi les sociétés, voire les hommes politiques aujourd'hui?
I don't think so, no. I mean, you know, Margaret Thatcher wears Chanel, doesn't she? You know, so she's obviously very hip. I think basically it's because she earns more than we do.
De Reagan Gorbatchev, qui a le meilleur look aujourd'hui selon vous?
I don't think. I mean, you know, they're really. I think sort of politicians have, for me, don't have any effect on my life. You know, I'm not a politically motivated person. I mean, I'm more into sort of. I mean, I don't like Le Pen. You know, I'm much more concerned with people like that, who go out of their way to create hatred. I mean, you know, I'm much more interested in people like President Botha. You know, because I think basically Le Pen is a version of Botha. But those people, I think, are more disturbing than Reagan or Gorbachev. I really, they don't bother me because they're just puppets. They don't really, it's like somebody's working them from behind, you know. It's like everything that they read is written for them. I mean, it's a bit like the Queen of England, you know. I mean, everything she says is really basically written by somebody else. And that's fine because you know that that's the truth. But with politicians, it's like you're supposed to believe that what they're saying is, like, you know, from the heart, you know, and those people don't interest me. I'm more concerned with, like, you know, sort of people who are racialist and, you know, people who are against the minority.
Vous n'êtes donc pas un militant aujourd'hui?
Oh, I mean, I think my whole life is a political statement. I think, you know, I think just that, you know, it's like when people, I mean, like, you know, you get all these bands who are, like, you get all these gay bands like Bronski Beat, you know, I mean, if they walk down the street dressed like this, they'd have a lot more to contend with than your average person. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think what I'm doing is a statement in itself, you know. I mean, I don't have to sort of go down the road screaming, you know, excuse me for being effeminate, because it's quite obvious that I am. So, I mean, I don't have to sort of, it's like, it's so obvious what I am.
Mais si vous deviez chanter...
I think, you know, sometimes, some things don't need to be said. It's like, you know, it's like, I mean, it's why I mean, I suppose nowadays I'm more inclined to say that, you know, I sleep with men, you know, and I'm more inclined to be open about my sexuality, only because I don't think it's important, maybe as I did 4 years ago. I'm not so concerned about what people think about my sexuality. But I think, I mean, I've always made quite sort of brave statements visually. So I think that's, you know, that's the issue, do you know what I mean? Like, people can just see what I am. I mean, that's like reading a book. You know, I mean, would you ask me, you know, would you ask Burt Reynolds the kind of questions you're asking me?
Sans maquillage, sans badge, à quoi ressemble le Boy George qui se lève le matin?
Pretty disgusting. Yeah. Pretty disgusting. No, I mean, I'm okay. I've got quite a nice face, really. I've got very good skin. I mean, that's one thing in my favour. But I don't particularly think that I'm that attractive, which is why I do sort of like, you know, I suppose I'm a transformer. Transformers. No, I'm into transforming myself. I think that's the great thing about, you know, being a human being, is that you can, like, change the way you look. You don't have to look like everyone else. I mean, I suppose I just look like a lot of other people. Do you know what I mean? I just look like a lot of other people, and I don't want to. You know, I really don't want to.
Mais vous avez 26 ans, vous êtes riche, vous êtes célèbre, ça peut donner une impression de pouvoir, mais est-ce que ça ne donne pas aussi l'impression d'être déjà vieux?
Actually, I used to really worry about getting old, but I think it's quite nice. Because as you get older, I think you get more of a grip on things. You know, I mean, my attitude towards the music business is very different now to what it was 4 years ago. I suppose I'm a lot more cynical now about it. You know, it's like I find the whole thing very trite. You know, it's like I think the one thing that I've really realised is that, you know, being sort of putting yourself in a sort of pop star bracket is really difficult. It's really difficult being a pop star. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's like, it's such hard work. So I try not to be like that. You know, I try to just be George now, you know, more than being Boy George. I mean, although, you know, I mean, that's what I call myself, you know, God knows why. But I try I try very hard not to sort of fall into the sort of, you know, sort of, I don't know, just, I think a lot of pop stars come across as if they've, like, really, it's like as if they sit at home at night and think about what they're going to do all the time. You know, whereas I'm probably more inclined to sit at home and wonder about what I'm going to wear. Do you know what I mean? Or sort of like, or thinking of something witty to say rather than something really serious. You know, I'd much rather make people laugh. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, I think I probably missed my vacation in life. I think I'm probably basically a comedian that sort of happened to, you know, sing. Because I mean, you know, I mean, I think that, you know, that's the thing about me. You know, people have always said, like, oh, he's, you know, I mean, even people that dislike me, they say, like, oh, you know, look at the way he looks. You know, it's like so ridiculous, and it is kind of ridiculous. But I can sing.